All right, we have the right side of the crankcase, and it has been cleaned. It's gone through a commercial dishwasher transmission cleaner. But before I assemble it, I'm going to rinse it one more time. I'm actually going to take it outside, shoot some super clean on it, hose it off real good, and then I'm going to blow through everything one last time before I do my final assembly. But before I do that, I wanted to go through and just make sure that all of these galleys are clear. And you don't know when you get them back from the dishwasher. It's just cheap insurance to go through and make sure all these are clean. And everything looks pretty good. And I'm going to do that on both sides. The next step probably isn't essential, but I like to do it. I'm just going to go through and I'm going to touch up each one of these mating surfaces. Sometimes these cases will get banged around the back of a truck or whatever, and little burrs will start developing on some of these surfaces. I like to just go through and make sure that that's cleaned up. But basically, this is just a whetstone, and what I'm doing is I'm just going through and I'm just looking to make sure that there's no high sides. Just want to touch things up. You can actually see where this thing has gotten nicked a couple times. And I'm just making sure that nothing is going to keep these case halves from going together nice and tight. You want them as tight as possible. Everything's looking pretty good. Obviously, if you see something that's really high, you'd have to address that. But this is actually looking pretty good at this point. Just go through and make sure that all of those are clean. A little bit down here, across where the cam rides. Just want to make sure that nothing is going to keep these two crankcases from coming together correctly. It's probably an unnecessary step, but it's just the way that I've always done things. So the next step is to get these two halves outside, clean them, spray them off, get the air hose out and give them a good cleaning one more time, and then we're on to final assembly. Okay, somebody has tried to delete a letter out of that series of numbers. I believe it's an RM block, which is a 140 horsepower non-Corsa 140. So on these case halves here, it's important for us to just kind of give them a good once over. Make sure that all of the surfaces, there's no major galling. Make sure that the pins, there's an alignment pin, make sure that that's present on both sides, the front and the rear. Also notice that this is nice and clean. I'll have to do a little bit of cleanup right there. The studs look good. This side has some stud issues. This stud is not all the way in the case. So I'm going to have to back that out, and the customer has supplied me with new studs. So we're going to go through and make sure that everything is where it needs to be. The crankshaft, we're going to have a brief section on the crank. The bearings, we will install the bearings into the crank halves. Make sure everything is nice and wet. I'm going to show you how to clean up some of these surfaces right here. I just want to make sure everything is nice and true. Then we'll have to go through and do some timing. Make sure that this is timed correctly, because you do not want to have to disassemble an engine because you're off one tooth. So that's basically the procedure, and so we'll move on to our next step.